You ran into some weak arguments for reparations. What were the weaker arguments? And
Uh, I assume Hotep Jesus is like far right.
I disavow them completely for agreeing with me for all the wrong reasons. but I'm aware of that. I'm aware of the support. But yeah, I disavow them completely. They're just agreeing with me for the wrong reasons.
He's talking about white nationalists.
But what can I do about that?
Yeah, I've been hit with the 13 and 50 for the past 48 hours. 13 and 50.
Wait, a 13?
Well,
what's that?
This is a white nationalist trope where they say black people are 13% of the population and they commit 50% of the violent crimes in America, right? So the whole 13 and 50 trope, which is, we don't have to get into how bizarre or inaccurate that stat is.
Well, but let's be more provocative. Let me ask you the question. When Black Americans become wealthy, they usually move away from high crime areas, don't they?
From high crime areas, yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone move away from high crime areas when they become wealthy? Isn't that? I think we all do that, right? It's how it works, kind of.
And there is, unfortunately, because of systemic racism, those high crime areas are concentrated often in Black areas for no fault of the Black people, because systemic racism has brought us to this point.
Woke Scott Adams.
So would it be reasonable for a successful Black person to say, you know what, the best thing I could do is go to a low crime neighborhood, and unfortunately for me, a lot of white people there. Would that be reasonable?
Yes, but some nuance, as we talked about in the green room. I live in an area predominantly that's got a lot of Indians moving in. So I perceive white people as being lower class. So I want to be near the Indians. So if I
what are we talking about here? I'm confused about what the
and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I do have to come back to the how you've radicalized white nationalists and so on and so forth. And I know you've in case you just joining, you did what's the term you used?
Revoke?
When you
Close.
So help me through this, right? I understand and you understand that you can phrase
This is a very meandering talk. Every time I click somewhere, I feel like they're both just kind of staring at each other.
Things in certain ways to bring conservatives to your side. For example, with the reparations conversation, I looked at it very briefly, took about 10 minutes, and I said, what if we frame reparations as Democrats must pay? Right? All of a sudden, the conservatives was like, yeah, reparations, right? And I'm thinking to myself, well, how come nobody else thought about that, right?
I love that.
But I think the issue that people have is, why do we got to go through these extra steps of thinking just to prove that there's some systemic racist problems for Black people? Why can't we just get Republicans and white conservatives to say there's systemic racism in America without the context?
Oh, yeah. Here's the trap there. If you say there is systemic racism, and then let's say the Republicans agreed on that premise. Mm-hmm. Now, I agree with it, but I'm not a politician. Yeah. If they agree with it, then people can start packing things under that label. Republicans you can deal with on an issue basis. So, for example, Republicans are not going to say, let's fund Black Lives Matter. Right. But Black Lives Matter wanted more body cams on police. Conservatives have no issue with that whatsoever. Would probably help you fund it. So
they do.
You took it down to tell me specifically what you want to do. It ends up being the same stuff.
Okay. I thought this was going to be a Black separatist. His name is Hotep Jesus. Okay. And a white nationalist, because he literally said white and Black people should separate. And they would both be agreeing on the separation part, but for different reasons. But instead, neither of them is talking about how they want to separate, and they're agreeing on systemic racism. And I have no idea rapid fire questions. What is there? What's the note on the interview? What?
If you had to choose between Trump and DeSantis, where do you sit on that? That's a big, huge conversation right now, assuming DeSantis did decide to run and you had to choose today. Who would you choose between Trump and DeSantis?
Well, I'm going to stay a single issue voter on fentanyl. So right now, Trump has a strong stance on fentanyl. And DeSantis, I don't know that he's weighed in, like he would as a president. So he's sort of doing a governor's job, a great governor's job, by the way. I think he's doing terrific. And if they stayed that way, I'm still a single issue voter, so I'd go with Trump. If DeSantis...
Wait, did his son die from an overdose? His son died. No, his son died from a fentanyl overdose, didn't he? I think so. Yeah, that's why.
Had, let's say, a similar...
That's still retarded. Yeah, it is retarded. But, like, that's why he's being retarded.
Fentanyl opinion. I'd probably go for youth. Because I think everybody needs that. Right? Absolutely. That's not left or right. Everybody needs that. We need a younger president.
Would you like to see more black people vote Republican? Do you think that would help? Or
what is the disagreement? Is there no disagreement? I'm so confused. I don't. Hotep Con? What? I saw white people. Okay. Can you go next year? Do you think they'd take me? Hotep Con 2022. They're advertising the chef they hired on the front page? That's interesting. This seems more like a hobbyist. This is like a lifestylist thing. This isn't like a real political conference. This is like, okay. This is so weird. I need to do Vaush Con is what I need to do. I could unironically, if I set that in LA or Seattle or something, I could unironically probably sell like a couple hundred tickets. I could make my money back. Could get cheese wheels.